June 6, 1944. 6:30 a.m. Omaha Beach, Normandy. A 21-year-old German soldier sits in a concrete bunker overlooking the beach. His name is Heinrich Severloh. He's manning an MG-42 machine gun. Below him, the largest amphibious invasion in history is beginning. Thousands of American soldiers are landing, wave after wave, boats unloading men directly into the killing zone. Severloh has been given one order: stop them. For the next 9 hours, he will fire continuously 12,000 rounds of ammunition, more than one round every 3 seconds. His gun barrel will overheat and need changing multiple times. His hands will blister from the heat. His shoulder will bruise from the constant recoil. When the day ends, over 2,000 American soldiers will be dead or wounded in the section of beach below his position. Years later, they will call him the Beast of Omaha Beach, the deadliest soldier on D-Day. But here's the complicated truth. Heinrich Severloh was just a 21-year-old farm boy from Germany. He didn't want to be there. He didn't want to kill anyone. But war doesn't care what you want. This is the story of D-Day from the other side, the German soldier who became the most lethal defender of Omaha Beach, and the moral questions his story forces us to ask. Welcome to Archive of Witnesses. Every witness deserves to be remembered, even the ones who fought on the wrong side of history. Pause. Heinrich Severloh was born in 1923 in Metzingen, a small farming village in northern Germany. The son of farmers, he grew up working the land, quiet, hard-working, unremarkable. In 1942, at age 19, he's drafted into the Wehrmacht. He doesn't have a choice. Every young German man is being called up. The war needs bodies. He's trained as an artilleryman and assigned to the 352nd Infantry Division. By late 1943, his unit is stationed in Normandy, France, defending the Atlantic Wall. The Atlantic Wall is Hitler's grand defensive project, thousands of bunkers, gun positions, and obstacles along the French coast, designed to stop any Allied invasion. Severloh is assigned to Widerstandsnest 62, Resistance Nest 62, a fortified position on a bluff overlooking a beach the Germans call something technical. The Allies will call it Omaha Beach. His position is perfect for defense. Elevated, concrete reinforced, clear line of sight down the entire beach. Any troops landing below will be completely exposed. Severloh and his comrades spend months preparing. They zero their weapons, calculate firing angles, stock ammunition. They know the invasion is coming. Everyone knows. It's just a question of when and where. Severloh writes letters home to his family. He's scared. He doesn't want to die in France, defending a regime he never really believed in. But he's a soldier. He'll do his duty. He has no idea that June 6, 1944, will make him one of the most controversial figures of World War II. June 5, 1944. Night. The weather is terrible. Storms, heavy clouds, rough seas. Severloh and his unit are told the invasion won't come in this weather. It's too dangerous for an amphibious assault. They're allowed to relax slightly. Some soldiers leave their bunkers, some sleep, some play cards. Severloh stays at his position. Something feels wrong. June 6th, 5:30 a.m. Still dark. Severloh hears it. A sound like distant thunder. But it's not thunder. It's the naval bombardment beginning. Allied warships are shelling the French coast. Thousands of shells. The ground shakes. Explosions light up the pre-dawn sky. The invasion is happening. Now. Severloh rushes to his gun position. His commander, Lieutenant Frerking, is already there. They watch the horizon. As dawn breaks, they see it. The The sea is covered with ships, thousands of ships, more ships than Severloh has ever imagined could exist in one place. Landing craft heading toward the beach, destroyers, battleships, the entire Allied armada. Fröking looks at Severloh. They both know what this means. They're about to face the largest invasion force in history, and they're defending a beach with only a handful of German soldiers. "We're going to die today," Fröking says quietly. Severloh doesn't respond. He just checks his weapon, loads ammunition, and waits. At 6:30 a.m., the first American landing craft hit the beach below their position. The killing begins. 6:30 a.m. The landing craft doors drop open. American soldiers pour out directly into chest-deep water. They're loaded with equipment, rifles, packs, ammunition. Some weigh over 80 pounds with all their gear. The current is stronger than expected. Many men are swept away, drowned before reaching the beach. The weight of their equipment pulls them under. Those who reach the shallow water start running toward the beach, toward cover, toward survival. Severloh opens fire. The MG-42 is one of the most lethal weapons of World War II. It fires up to 1,200 rounds per minute. That's 20 bullets every second. The sound is distinctive, like tearing fabric. The Allies call it Hitler's buzzsaw. From Severloh's elevated position, the Americans on the beach have nowhere to hide. The beach is flat, open, a killing ground. His bullets cut through the first wave. Men fall. The water turns red. More boats arrive. More Americans pour out. They're brave, incredibly brave. They keep coming despite watching the men ahead of them die. Severloh keeps firing. His training takes over. He's not thinking about the men he's shooting. He can't afford to think. He just loads, fires, reloads, fires. His commander, Lieutenant Fröking, is next to him firing a rifle, picking off individual targets, coordinating with the other German positions. American bodies pile up at the water's edge. Some men take cover behind the bodies of their dead comrades, using their friends' corpses as shields. The horror of Omaha Beach is beginning. 7 a.m. The killing continues. Severloh's gun is so hot, he has to change barrels. His assistant gunner hands him a new barrel. They work mechanically. No words. Just load, fire, reload. More American troops keep landing. The planners didn't account for German resistance being this strong. They thought the naval bombardment would destroy the bunkers. It didn't. Most German positions survived. The Americans are pinned down on the beach, unable to advance, unable to retreat, just dying. Some try to crawl forward. Severloh's bullets find them. Some try to run. The other German positions cut them down. Some just lie still, hoping to be overlooked, pretending to be dead. Officers try to rally their men, lead charges toward the bluffs. Severloh watches through his sights as American lieutenants and captains are shot down trying to inspire their troops. The bravery is incredible and pointless. The German positions are too strong. 8 a.m. Severloh has fired thousands of rounds. His shoulder is bruised purple from the recoil. His hands are blistered from the hot metal. His ears are ringing despite the noise. But he keeps firing, because if he stops, the Americans will advance. If they advance, they'll reach his bunker. If they reach his bunker, he'll die. So he fires, methodically, relentlessly. By mid-morning, the beach below is covered with American dead and wounded. The water's edge is a line of bodies. The surf is red. This is Omaha Beach, the bloodiest beach of D-Day, and Heinrich Severloh is responsible for a significant portion of that blood. 10 a.m. Something changes. A few American units find gaps in the German defenses. Small groups of soldiers make it off the beach, reach the bluffs. start attacking German positions from the sides. These are the Rangers, the engineers, the survivors who refuse to die on that beach. Severloh sees them climbing. He redirects fire, tries to stop them. But there are too many gaps, too many Americans finally making progress. More Allied ships arrive. Destroyers move dangerously close to shore. They start shelling German positions with more accuracy. Direct fire, point-blank range, explosions hit near Severloh's bunker, concrete chips fly, the structure shakes. For the first time, he realizes his position might not hold. 11 a.m. Lieutenant Frerking is hit. A naval shell lands near their position. Shrapnel tears through him. He dies quickly. Severloh is now alone. The other German soldiers in nearby positions are dead or have retreated. He's the last defender in this section. He should retreat. The position is being overrun. Staying means death or capture. But he keeps firing. Maybe because he's trained to follow orders and no one has ordered him to retreat. Maybe because he's too scared to run across open ground. Maybe because stopping means confronting what he's done. 12 p.m. American soldiers are now on the bluff. Coming toward his position, he can hear them, shouting, coordinating, closing in. Severloh fires his last belt of ammunition. Then he runs. Severloh abandons his position. Runs inland, away from the beach, away from the Americans, now flooding through the German defenses. He's disoriented, exhausted, his ears still ringing from 9 hours of continuous gunfire. He meets scattered groups of retreating German soldiers. The Atlantic Wall has fallen. D-Day is succeeding. The invasion force is too large, too determined. The Germans are falling back. Severloh and other survivors retreat deeper into France. They'll fight again. The war isn't over, but the defense of Omaha Beach is lost. As he retreats, Severloh processes what just happened. 9 hours, 12,000 rounds fired. How many men did he kill? He doesn't know. He'll never know exactly. Estimates later put his personal kill count at over 2,000 Americans killed or wounded, more than any other single soldier on D-Day, possibly more than any single soldier in any single day of World War II. The number is so large, it's almost incomprehensible. Severloh will carry this for the rest of his life. The weight of those deaths, the faces he didn't see through his gun sights, the American soldiers who died because he pulled a trigger. He doesn't feel like a hero. He feels sick. But war doesn't care about feelings. It just demands bodies. And on June 6, 1944, Omaha Beach got its share. Severloh survives the rest of the war. He fights in the retreat through France, through the desperate defense of Germany itself. He's captured by British forces in May 1945, becomes a prisoner of war. He's interrogated. They want to know about D-Day, about the defenses, about how many Americans died at Omaha Beach. Severloh tells them what he knows. The interrogators are shocked. One man killed that many Allied soldiers. He's held as a POW for 2 years, released in 1947, returns to Germany, to his family farm, to the life he left behind. But he's not the same person. How could he be? Germany is destroyed, divided, occupied. The Nazi regime is gone. The truth about the Holocaust is emerging. The moral weight of what Germany did is crushing the nation, and Severloh carries his own moral weight. The 2,000 men he killed at Omaha Beach. He goes back to farming, tries to live a quiet life, marry, have children, be normal. But the war won't leave him alone. Nightmares, flashbacks, the sound of the MG-42 firing, the image of American soldiers falling on that beach. For decades, he tells almost no one about his role in D-Day. It's too painful, too complicated. How do you explain being responsible for thousands of deaths? He's not a war criminal. He was a soldier following orders, defending a position. But that doesn't make the dead less dead. The moral complexity haunts him. Heinrich Severloh is 76 years old. He's been carrying his secret for 55 years. A German historian approaches him, wants to record his story, to document the German perspective of D-Day, to preserve this witness account before it's lost. Severloh is reluctant. Who wants to hear from the man who killed 2,000 Americans? Who will understand? But the historian convinces him. History needs all perspectives, even the uncomfortable ones. Severloh agrees. He tells his story. In detail. The preparations, the morning of June 6th, the 9 hours of continuous fire, the aftermath, the guilt. The historian publishes a book. WN 62, A German Soldier's Memories of the Defense of Omaha Beach. The book creates controversy. Some people call Severloh a hero, a German soldier who did his duty against impossible odds. Others call him a mass murderer, a man who killed thousands of young Americans who were liberating Europe from fascism. Severloh doesn't call himself either. He just calls himself a soldier who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, following orders he didn't want to follow, killing men he had no personal hatred for. American D-Day veterans read the book. Some are angry. This is the man who killed their friends, their brothers, but others are more thoughtful. They recognize something in Severloh's account, the randomness of war, the way ordinary people become killers because that's what war demands. And then something unexpected happens. Severloh receives a letter from an American D-Day veteran. The veteran's name is Dave Roderick. He was at Omaha Beach on June 6, 1944. He landed in the first wave. He survived. The letter is not angry. It's an invitation. Roderick invites Severloh to meet, to talk, to find peace together. Severloh is shocked. Why would an American veteran want to meet the man who tried to kill him? But he accepts. They meet in the United States. Two elderly men, one who attacked, one who defended, both survivors of the worst day of their lives. They talk for hours about the battle, about the fear, about the horror, about carrying the weight of that day for over 50 years. Roderick tells Severloh something important. You were a soldier doing your job. So was I. We were both just young men caught in something bigger than ourselves. They become friends. Unlikely friends. The American D-Day veteran and the German machine gunner. Severloh meets other American veterans. Some forgive him, some don't. He understands both reactions. One veteran tells him, I don't blame you for doing your duty. I blame the war that put us both there. Severloh returns to Omaha Beach. For the first time since 1944. He stands on the beach where 2,000 Americans died. Many by his hand. He places flowers. He cries. He asks for forgiveness from men long dead. It doesn't erase what happened, but it's something. A small gesture of humanity in the face of inhuman tragedy. Heinrich Severloh's story forces us to ask difficult questions. Was he a hero? He defended his position against overwhelming odds. He was a disciplined, effective soldier. He followed orders in an impossible situation. Or was he a killer? He fired 12,000 rounds into a beach full of men trying to liberate Europe from Nazi tyranny. He killed over 2,000 Americans in 9 hours. The truth is complicated. He was both, and neither. He was a 21-year-old farm boy who got drafted into a war he didn't start, placed in a position he didn't choose, given a job he didn't want, and he did that job with terrible efficiency. Does following orders excuse the killing? The Americans he killed were following orders too. They were liberating France from Nazi occupation. They were the good guys. But from Severloh's perspective, they were invaders. His job was to stop them. That's what soldiers do. They defend positions. They follow orders. If Severloh had refused to fire, would it have changed anything? The Americans would have still landed. Other German soldiers would have still killed thousands. The war would have continued. One man's refusal wouldn't have mattered, except to his conscience. But he didn't refuse. He fired for 9 hours, and 2,000 Americans died. Is individual responsibility erased in war? Or does every killing, even in combat, carry moral weight? These questions have no easy answers. They never do. Heinrich Severloh died in 2006 at age 79. He's buried in Germany, far from Omaha Beach. His obituary called him the Beast of Omaha Beach. Some called him a hero. Some called him a war criminal. Most just called him complicated. The American veterans who befriended him attended his funeral. They traveled from the United States to Germany to pay respects to a man who once tried to kill them. That says something important about human capacity for forgiveness, for understanding, for recognizing shared humanity even across the divide of war. June 6, 1944, was the deadliest day of D-Day. Over 4,000 Allied soldiers died on the beaches of Normandy. Omaha Beach was the bloodiest, with over 2,000 casualties. Heinrich Severloh was responsible for a significant portion of that death toll. One man, one machine gun, 9 hours. But he was also a 21-year-old who didn't want to be there, who followed orders in an impossible situation, who carried the guilt for the rest of his life. War creates these impossible moral situations. Young men forced to kill other young men, following orders, defending positions, doing their duty, and then they have to live with it for 60 years, haunted by faces they never saw, lives they ended, futures they erased. This is why we tell these stories, not to glorify war, not to excuse killing, but to understand the human cost, the moral complexity, the weight carried by survivors on both sides. This is why Archive of Witnesses exists, to preserve all perspectives, even the uncomfortable ones, even the ones that force us to ask difficult questions. Heinrich Severloh was the deadliest soldier at Omaha Beach. He was also a farm boy who wanted to go home. He was both. And recognizing that complexity is important. If this story made you think, subscribe to Archive of Witnesses. We bring you the untold, complicated human stories from World War II, Cold War, and ancient history. The perspectives history often ignores. Hit the notification bell. And in the comments, share your thoughts. Was Severloh a soldier doing his duty, or something else? Can we hold individuals accountable in war? There are no easy answers. Share this story, because understanding war means understanding all sides, even the side that killed 2,000 Americans. Until next time, remember, history is written by those brave enough to live it, and sometimes by those who wish they hadn't. This is Archive of Witnesses.